And good evening. I'm Damon Fernandez. Devin and Kimberly are off tonight. Now, we hope you're having a great Thanksgiving. Right now, we're tracking some of the biggest holiday traditions in Detroit, including a Lions game that didn't quite go the way fans hoped. Detroit fans have experienced Thanksgiving game losses since 2016. We have the first reaction to today's game against the Packers, but happy memories were made along Woodward Avenue this morning. And don't forget the food as caring volunteers step up to share with folks who need a helping hand. But we start with football, and the Lions didn't show up the way many thought they would against the Green Bay Packers. Hobie Artiga is here to talk about that tough Thanksgiving game.
About as tough as the turkey you might have left in the oven for too long. That's
man.
how that one was today. What's a tradition the Lions playing on this day dating back to the 1930s, but it's also quickly turning into another not-so-good tradition, losing on Thanksgiving Day for the 7th consecutive time. The offense, though, scored on their opening drive. Jared Goff drops back and finds Sam Laporta for a 7-yard touchdown. The Packers, though, led 7-6 after a missed extra point, but the offense struggled to get in rhythm. Jared Goff is hit. He loses the football. Jonathan Owens picks it up, and he takes it to the house for a 27-yard touchdown. The Packers led 23-6 at halftime. The Lions scored a touchdown to open the second half, but the Pack kept piling on the points. Jordan Love drops back, throws his 3rd touchdown of the day. That one to Christian Watson. The Packers win it 29-22. The Lions' first loss since Week 7. Here's Dan Campbell postgame.
Coach LaFleur had him ready to go. They played a real good game. I thought Love came out and played really well. Receivers made plays. And look, they were ready, man. They played really well, and we did not. We didn't play good enough, and you know, we did not complement each other, turn the ball over too much, and we weren't able to overcome those issues.
You heard Dan Campbell say turn the ball over too much. Jared Goff, 3 fumbles today. We'll hear from him coming up in sports.
Now, Hobie, you were at the game. Yeah. What was the fan reaction during that game?
Whenever it turned 20-6 at that point in the game, it was like somebody just let the air out of a balloon. There were even some boos at the game for a team that had won 8 games up to this point in the season. But I think they can try to turn things around in a few days to get some nice time off as they head to New Orleans next Sunday.
You know, Lions fans are definitely optimistic.
You gotta be. Gotta be.
All right, thanks, Hobie. Well, while many fans are bummed about that game, we know thousands of hearts were warmed along Woodward Avenue this morning. Nick Monticelli spent time talking to people along the route of the America's Thanksgiving Parade presented by Gardner White. He found each person comes downtown for their own unique reasons.
So let me tell you my favorite part about this. Look at all the people waving down here. All of these people, you ask them, what's your favorite part? They talk about family and friendship, but you know what else they talk about? Detroit, and how great this place is on a day like today.
Happy Thanksgiving!
What do we think of the parade this year?
Great!
Awesome.
I love the parade every year, man. It's great to be here.
Today's America's Thanksgiving Parade was picture perfect. The sun was out, the smiles were beaming. Hi, Peyton. It's when Detroit is at its best. Say Happy Thanksgiving!
Happy Thanksgiving!
Some are making new traditions. This is your first year here?
Yes.
What do you think?
It's amazing.
My mom and dad has always instilled in us memories, so that's all we've ever been taught, so that's what I'm trying to teach my daughter.
Others continuing their traditions.
We did this when we were kids, and these are all my cousins back here, so there's like 16 cousins now. We all had kids, and this is what we did.
Can you see everything? Can you see Santa coming down?
Yes.
And there's those who fly across the globe, like Anna Tremontini from Brazil. What do you think?
Yeah, it's very fun. I'm enjoying it a lot. And the cold weather is kind of a change from the summer in Brazil.
Well, Anna, welcome to Detroit. I guarantee with parties and cheer like this, you might want to call it home too.
That's what we need. We need everybody to come together for one good cause, and just to see everybody out here enjoying themselves, man. That's what it's all about.
At America's Thanksgiving Parade, Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
And lots of folks having a great time out there today. Well, while many of us are lucky enough to gather with family and friends for wonderful holiday meals, not everyone is blessed right now. That keeps dozens of volunteers busy every Thanksgiving as they feed people who might need a helping hand. Divine Restoration Ministries has been feeding 1,000 people on Thanksgiving for 3 years now. Volunteers say they hear so many stories that make them happy to help.
We had a family came, they recently had a fire, and they weren't able to prepare Thanksgiving dinner. And so they found out about the event on Eventbrite, and they were able to get dinners, that way.
Well, Divine Restoration Ministries passed out food at 2 locations today. Those sites were in Detroit and East Point. We also stopped on Detroit's west side for another big program. Save the Date event serves up a big number of dinners for the homeless and the hungry. They call it a Thanksgiving give back, and they've been doing it for 4 years now. Organizers say it's about more than food. It's also about providing a sense of community for people who might otherwise spend the holiday alone. Well, labor disputes have made 2023 a tough year for thousands of workers. And while many of them are back on the job, union members at MGM spent this holiday walking the picket line. They rejected a contract offer earlier this week. Now they face the holidays' colder temperatures and uncertain futures. Megan Woods is live outside the casino right now. Hey, Megan, how's everything out there right now?
Well, you see, and you can probably hear them behind me. These picketers easily could be at home, cozying up to family, enjoying the Thanksgiving holiday. But they tell us what they're out here for is much bigger than that.
We deserve economic justice, and we're going to stand and we're going to fight until we get it.
Even on Thanksgiving afternoon, the other 2 downtown Detroit casinos reached a tentative contract this past weekend, but unionized workers here at MGM Grand Casino voted the agreement down.
I feel that it's more that we can negotiate with the company about some things that needs to be moved around.
And in the spirit of Thanksgiving, they're grateful for any support they can get.
This is Detroit. This is a union town. This is where the labor movement was born, and we're going to see it through to the end.
And the union goes back to the negotiation table next Wednesday, and so we just have to wait and see what happens after that. Reporting live in Detroit, I'm Megan Woods, Local 4.
All right, Megan, thank you. Well, the more we learn about an explosion on a border bridge between New York and Canada, the more it looks like terrorism did not play a role. Many people remain concerned after yesterday's blast on the Rainbow Bridge near Niagara Falls. Well, today, investigators say a New York couple was killed in the car that crashed and exploded. They say the man who died planned to go to a Kiss concert in Canada, but went to a casino when the show was canceled. It's still unclear why the car smashed into the border checkpoint on the American side. An officer in the booth was treated for minor injuries. The investigation has now been turned over to local police as a traffic investigation. There's a pause in the war between Israel and Hamas. It's set to begin in just 6 hours after a 1-day delay. Today, a spokesman for Qatar's foreign ministry announced the new plan. The first Israeli hostages taken back on October 7th should be released tomorrow morning around 9 a.m. our time. The first round should include 13 women and children. New relief supplies will begin to flow into Gaza. Also right now, the ceasefire scheduled for the last 4 days, but Israel continues to pound Gaza in the hours leading up to the pause. One strike leveled a residential building at a refugee camp. Local sources say at least 12 people died. Israel's military says it's launched 300 airstrikes in the past day. NBC News will have more from the Middle East on the upcoming ceasefire at 6:30. That's right after this newscast. All right, coming up tonight, we're learning more about 2 suspects after a police shooting that jammed a busy road in Oakland County. We'll also talk about some of the charges, one suspect's high bond, and we'll have an update on their conditions. Also, buckle up for a tour of Wayne County's suburb that's near and dear to a member of our Local 4 morning show. Some of the things she loves about her hometown. Plus, Brian's working on forecast.
Yeah, that's right, Damon. Not a bad Thanksgiving across southeastern Michigan. Plenty of sunshine and high temperatures well into the 40s this afternoon. Brace yourself. A cool down's on the way tomorrow, and snow is in the forecast looking ahead into the weekend. I'll break down what you can expect in your complete 4-1 forecast coming up in just a few minutes.